You see, time is a strange thing. We all get the same amount of it, 24 hours in a day, 168 hours in a week. Nobody gets more. Nobody gets less. And yet, some people build empires. Others build excuses. Some people invest it wisely. Others throw it away like it's nothing. Let me tell you something I learned a long time ago. Time is more valuable than money. You can get more money, but you cannot get more time. Now that should stop you in your tracks. Because every day you waste is a day you don't get back. And most people, they're not spending their time. They're wasting it. Wasting it on things that don't matter. Wasting it on people who don't care. Wasting it on habits that don't help. And if you're not careful, you'll look up one day and realize you've traded your precious life for comfort, for distraction, for nothing. Don't do that. Don't waste the most precious resource you have. Don't waste your time. You know what I've learned? Success is not a mystery. It's not magic. It's not luck. It's a series of small disciplines practiced every day. But here's the key. You can't practice those disciplines if your time is being stolen. Stolen by things that drain you. Stolen by things that distract you. Stolen by the unnecessary, the unimportant, the trivial. So if you want your life to change, if you want to become more, do more, and have more, then you must protect your time like it's gold. Because it is. And that's what we're going to talk about. The 5 biggest things people waste their time on and how to stop doing it starting now. Not tomorrow, not next year now. So lean in, take notes, and ask yourself, where is my time really going? Because the answer to that question might just change your life. Let me give you something to think about. You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Now, when I first heard that, I didn't believe it. I thought I was my own person, independent, free thinker, but I was wrong. You can't help it. You soak up the attitudes, the habits, the behaviors of the people around you. It's automatic. It's invisible. And it's powerful. So here's the question, who are you giving your time to? Because that's not a small thing. That's your life. You see, negative people are like anchors. They keep you tied to the dock. While your dreams are out at sea, they complain, they gossip, they blame, they criticize. They tell you it's too hard, too risky, too late. And if you listen long enough, you start to believe them. You start lowering your standards just to fit in. But here's what I found. Negative people want company, but they don't want progress. They're not building. They're not striving. They're not changing. And they don't want you to change either. Because if you grow, if you get stronger, wiser, more successful, it reminds them of what they're not doing. And most folks would rather stay comfortable than be reminded of their own laziness. So here's the big lesson. Stop wasting your time on people who are going nowhere. You can love them. You can pray for them. You can wish them well. But you don't have to follow them. And you sure don't have to listen to them. You need to be around people who are going somewhere. People who talk about ideas, not just other people. People who inspire you, who challenge you, who lift you higher. Don't join an easy crowd. You won't grow. Go where the expectations and the demands to perform are high. I remember when I made that decision. I stopped answering every call. I stopped joining every conversation. And I started choosing my circle very carefully. Because time is short and energy is precious. And your future is too important to be spent in the wrong company. Here's a test. After you spend time with someone, ask yourself, do I feel better? Or do I feel drained? If the answer is drained, that's your sign. Move on. No drama, no hard feelings, just quiet separation. Because one of the best gifts you can give yourself is the gift of a clean environment. An environment where growth is normal, where dreams are respected, where effort is admired. You don't need hundreds of friends. You just need a few good ones. Ones who clap when you win and push you when you're lazy. We all need someone to inspire us to be better than we are. Choose wisely. So here's your assignment. Take inventory. Who's building you? Who's breaking you? And if someone's not adding to your life, don't be afraid to subtract. Because the moment you start spending your time with the right people is the moment you stop wasting your life. Let me tell you a truth that stings a little. Excuses are the nails used to build a house of failure. And too many people are living in that house. You see, every time you make an excuse, you trade your future for your comfort. And it sounds harmless. I'm too tired. I don't have time. I'll start next week. But what you're really saying is, I'd rather feel good for a moment than grow for a lifetime. Now that's dangerous. Because the more you use excuses, the easier they come. And before long, you're not even aware of them. They become your language. They become your mindset. And eventually, they become your identity. But let me remind you of something important. Discipline weighs ounces. Regret weighs tons. It's easy to skip the workout. Easy to delay the reading. Easy to say, not now, but 5 years from now, you'll wish you had done it today. And that's what regret sounds like. If only I had started sooner. If only I had been consistent. If only I had taken that chance. Don't live like that. Don't let your excuses write your story. Because here's the secret: success is not about more talent. It's about fewer excuses. I've seen ordinary people do extraordinary things because they decided to stop making excuses and start making progress. They said, I don't know everything, but I'll learn. I don't feel like it, but I'll do it anyway. I'm afraid, but I'll take the first step. That's courage. That's discipline. That's ownership. Excuses give you a way out, but discipline gives you a way forward. Now I know life's not always fair. Some people start with more money, more connections, more support. But here's what I've found. It's not where you start. It's where you decide to go that makes the difference. You can't control the weather. You can't control the economy. You can't control what other people say or do. But you can control your response. You can control your choices. And you can control whether or not you make another excuse or take another step. Because that's what personal responsibility is all about. Not blaming, not waiting, not hoping. It's doing. You see, excuses keep you waiting for the perfect moment. But winners, they act even when the moment is messy. Even when they're scared. Even when they don't feel ready. Don't wish it were easier. Wish you were better. And then go get better. Now here's a challenge for 1 week. Catch yourself. Every time you're about to make an excuse, stop, replace it with action. Just for 7 days, you'll be amazed at what changes. Not just outside, but inside. Your confidence will grow, your discipline will strengthen, and your excuses, they'll start losing their power. Because once you taste the results of action, excuses start to feel cheap. So remember, excuses don't move you forward. They keep you stuck. And life's too short to stay stuck. You can have excuses or you can have results, but you can't have both. Let me ask you something important. Are you busy or are you productive? Because there's a big difference. These days, we live in a world full of noise, endless scrolling, binge watching, notifications every few seconds, distractions everywhere, and the danger. You can spend your whole day doing things, but never get anything done. Don't mistake movement for achievement. That's what I learned early. You can be moving. You can be checking. You can be replying. But are you actually building? You see, distraction is the enemy of discipline. And if you don't guard your time, someone else will waste it for you. Now, I'm not saying you can't enjoy a little break. Rest is fine. Leisure is fine. But you can't let leisure become your lifestyle. If you don't design your own life plan, chances are you'll fall into someone else's plan. And guess what they have planned for you? Not much. The television, it has a plan. The apps on your phone, they have a plan. And their plan is to keep you watching, keep you swiping, keep you distracted from your goals, your growth, your greatness. So here's what I did. And maybe you should do it too. I started to manage attention instead of just managing time. Because time doesn't matter if your attention is in the wrong place. You can sit in a room for 3 hours and still get nothing done. Why? Because your focus was stolen. Every notification, every pop-up, every urge to check your phone is a withdrawal from your energy bank. And over time, it leaves you bankrupt. Let me give it to you straight. You will never reach your potential if your mind is always somewhere else. Greatness requires depth. It requires presence. It requires solitude, silence, and concentration. So ask yourself, what's stealing your focus? Is it social media, mindless entertainment, constant multitasking? If so, it's time to take it back. Your focus is your power. Your concentration is your edge. Success is nothing more than a few simple disciplines practiced every day. And you can't practice discipline if you're constantly distracted. So what's the answer? Here are a few thoughts. Turn off notifications. Schedule your distractions. Don't let them schedule you. Have focused time every day where it's just you and your work. Protect your mornings. Guard your mind like it's gold, because it is. And here's the thing. Once you cut the noise, you'll be surprised how loud your purpose becomes. You'll think clearer. You'll move faster. You'll do more in 1 hour than most do in a day. Because that's what happens when you're locked in. You make progress. And progress is what builds confidence. Remember, this distraction doesn't just waste time. It kills dreams. So if your dream is big, your focus must be bigger. There are people out there doing less than you, with fewer skills than you, but they're ahead because they've learned how to focus. So today, make the decision. Turn down the noise. Tune into your vision. Because if you don't control your attention, someone else will. And when the day ends, you want to say, I moved the needle, not just, I kept busy. Let me ask you a question that could change everything. How much of your life are you spending looking backwards? And I don't mean looking back to learn. I mean looking back to linger, to dwell, to regret, to replay the same old scene again and again. You see, one of the greatest traps in life is not failure. It's not rejection. It's not even disappointment. It's living in the past. Let me tell you something. You can't drive your life forward while staring in the rearview mirror. Try it. You'll crash every time. Yes, the past has lessons, but it is not a destination. It's a classroom, not a home. Some people wake up every morning and revisit the same mistakes from 5 years ago. They drink their coffee with guilt. They walk through their day with shame. And when they go to bed, they lie there not resting, but replaying. But let me remind you of something important. The past is not a place to live. It's a place to learn. What happened? Happened. What didn't work? Didn't work. You can't undo the event, but you can rewrite the meaning. You can decide right now that it will teach you, not trap you. Now listen, maybe you lost a relationship. Maybe you missed an opportunity. Maybe you made a mistake that cost you years. I understand. We've all been there. I've been there. But here's the reality. The more you replay what went wrong, the less energy you have to build what could go right. You've got to stop dragging yesterday into today, because it's heavy, it's draining, and worst of all, it's irrelevant to your potential. You can't change the past, but you can change the future by what you do today. That's the magic. That's the freedom. Forgive yourself. Forgive them. Not because they deserve it, but because you deserve peace. I've met people who haven't moved forward in 10 years. Why? Because someone told them they weren't good enough. Because they failed once and decided they'd never try again. And that's the danger. When you start believing your past is more powerful than your possibility, you become your own greatest obstacle. But here's the truth. You are not your mistake. You are not your failure. You are not your past. You are your potential. You are your decisions. You are your next step. Now, does the past matter? Of course. But only in how it informs the present. That's all we've got. This moment. And you've got to be careful not to waste this moment by reliving one that's already gone. Let me give you one of the greatest freedoms you'll ever experience. The freedom to begin again. Yes, you can start over, no matter what happened. Because the future doesn't care where you came from, only where you're going. But here's the deal. You've got to decide. Decide that you won't let what hurt you halt you. Decide that your comeback will be stronger than your setback. And above all, decide to stop rehearsing your pain and start rehearsing your potential. Because here's what I've learned. The more time you spend thinking about what you should have done, the less time you'll have to do what you can do. Let me say that again. The more time you spend thinking about what you should have done, the less time you'll have to do what you can do. Your time is precious. You can't get it back. And regret is a thief. It steals time, energy, and confidence. And most of the time, it robs you quietly. So what do? You accept the past. You learn from it. And then you say, that's it. No more reliving. No more rehearsing. Now I'm ready for the next chapter. Because once you stop wasting time in the past, you'll be amazed how fast the future comes alive. Your mind will clear. Your energy will return. And your dreams, they'll feel possible again. So don't wait for perfect closure. Don't wait for an apology that may never come. Don't wait for permission. Give yourself permission to move on. Give yourself permission to grow. Give yourself permission to live again. Remember this. The ultimate reason for setting goals is to entice you to become the person it takes to achieve them. You can't become that person if you're constantly haunted by who you used to be. So today, right now, decide to move forward with strength, with vision, and most of all, with peace, because your future's waiting. But it won't wait forever. Let me ask you something simple but serious. What's the plan? You see, one of the great tragedies in life isn't failure. It's drifting. People don't plan to waste years. They just don't plan at all. And if you don't design your life, I promise you, someone else will. And guess what they have planned for you? Not much. Now I want you to imagine something. You walk into an architect's office and you say, build me a house. And the architect asks, great. Do you have a blueprint? And you say, no. Just start hammering some wood together. We'll figure it out as we go. What do you think would happen? Chaos, mistakes, frustration, wasted time, wasted effort, wasted money. But people do this with their lives every day. They wake up with no agenda, no vision, no direction. They let the world pull them around by the noise, by the opinions, by distractions and demands. And then they wonder why they feel lost. Here's one of my favorite truths. Don't start the day until you have it finished. That means you plan it, you design it, you own it. You see, the key isn't doing more. The key is doing what matters. And without a plan, how do you even know what matters? A plan turns intention into direction. It turns ideas into action. It turns a dream into a target. Let me remind you, discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishment. But if you don't even have a goal, where do you think that bridge leads? Now listen, I'm not talking about some complicated, rigid structure. I'm talking about clarity. Where are you going? What do you want? And what steps are you taking daily to get there? Because if you don't answer those questions, you'll spend your life reacting, not creating, responding to someone else's priorities instead of acting on your own. Some people say, well, Jim, I don't know where to start. Let me tell you, start with where you want to end up. What kind of person do you want to be? What kind of life do you want to live? What kind of legacy do you want to leave? Start there and work backward. That's planning. The good life is not accidental. It's intentional. And I'll tell you what happens when you don't have a plan. You get distracted. You chase shiny objects. You follow trends instead of principles. And every year becomes a repeat of the last. Same habits, same results. You might be busy, but you're not building. That's why you need a plan, a clear one, a written one, a flexible one, but a focused one. You get one shot at this life. Don't wing it. Plan your year. Plan your week. Plan your day. And yes, plan your hours. Because when you control your time, you begin to control your life. Now don't misunderstand. I'm not saying be perfect. Plans change. Life throws curveballs. But it's easier to adjust a sail than to drift in the wind. When the winds of life blow, it's the set of the sail that determines your direction. Not the storm, not the waves, the sail. And a plan is that sail. I've seen people go from average to extraordinary. Not because they were the smartest, not because they were the most talented, but because they planned their work and then worked their plan. Simple, powerful, predictable. You don't stumble into success. You strategize for it. You don't hope your life improves. You plan for it. You don't wish for the good life. You design it. So let me leave you with a challenge. Take 1 hour today and write your plan. What are your top 3 goals this year? What do you need to do this week to move toward them? What will you do tomorrow to make progress? Write it down, look at it every day, and act on it with intention. Because without a plan, time slips through your fingers. But with a plan, every hour becomes a brick in the foundation of your future. Success is nothing more than a few simple disciplines, practiced every day. And those disciplines begin with a plan. So don't waste another day wandering. Don't waste another hour drifting. Design your life. Direct your steps. Dominate your time. Because if you don't plan your life, life will plan it for you. And chances are, it won't be the life you want. So there you have it, my friend. If you're serious about changing your life, start by stopping the things that waste it. Negative people, excuses, distractions, living in the past, and drifting without a plan. Time is more valuable than money. You can get more money, but you cannot get more time. Guard it. Respect it. Use it well. And if you do, the life you want is not just possible, it's predictable. Let today be the turning point. The day you stop wasting time and start building the life you were meant to live.